Good day, good love, and great illuminations, illuminators, and way showers, guardians of Gaia, to all physical, non-physical, because we are spirit having a physical experience. We are spirit. We talk to spirit because we are spirit. We are light. And I'm Wendy. Thank you. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today among the hydrangea. If you remember, if you've been watching me, thanks for giving a shout out. Love you guys so much. I don't know how long it's been now, not too long. I came out and did a video about the blue of the hydrangea. And when I very first started this channel, Languages of Lights, the reason for the name was I was actually given that name by the emissaries of the Light Collective, who were one of the first collective consciousnesses that appeared to me and said, you know, everything is made of light, and everything in source is light, and every single thing that's ever been created has its own language of some form, whether it's simply light or something else. Everything in creation expresses itself in its own language of its light, hence Languages of Lights. And with that came light language, I guess I want to say they sort of happened at the same time. The light language and then opening up to that brought in these collective consciousnesses, and the emissaries of the Light Collective. It was as if they expressed themselves as if I was already a part of this collective, that this is part of what I came to do, to share with people this idea that there are languages being spoken all around us in everything, in absolutely everything. And that if we can tune into that and tune into that idea that there's this harmonic, I guess the word, I say convergence, but there's this harmonic symphony all around us, always speaking, all of these, their own languages, whatever it is, every single thing in creation. And so my excitement has been to share that idea in all the ways that I'm excited to do so. Part of which was I've always believed I could speak to the flowers and the trees and, you know, the angels and nature and animals, you know, because like, why can't we? We all can. We are all capable because we are spirit. We're already connected and speaking to all these things. It's just we get to experience it in a different way here in physical reality. So I was inspired because if you've been watching my channel for a little while, you know how inspired I am by the idea of the chakras and the colors in nature, and how we interact and how we alchemize with that, and what does that all mean, and how does it move us closer to knowing thyself more fully? How does that aid in our meditation? How does it aid in our psyche? How does it aid in making decisions in our lives? So all of those ideas come into play when all of us are out here in the garden, and I have just been so blown away by the beauty of the colors. And how excited I am to just be here now with this language, this plant that's speaking to us. And we know from plant medicine, plant music, we understand there is a language to plants and flowers. And if we tune in, we can literally channel the information that they're sharing with us, because we're spirit, all of us. And so I wanted to take the opportunity, and my husband Dave's been encouraging me to make sure I do the hydrangea, the flower videos, because he knows how important it is to me, and how, there is only now. And as we bloom and grow every day and change, as do the flowers, nature teaches us those things, and to appreciate those cycles, even when it seems slow, even when it seems too fast, so to appreciate the cycles of nature helps us understand to more appreciate ourselves more fully, without any judgment, without just simple love, honor curiosity. We can't really, we try to as humans, but we can't really force, plants and animals to do what we want to do. We honor them as they are. And one of the things is the language that all of these creatures speak with us. So I'm just literally sitting over here in this little spot in my yard under this amazing, gorgeous Japanese maple. So if you guys, I just want to kind of give you a little, I see my surroundings if you haven't seen that video. And so the other day, with sharing all of these plants and flowers that I have been lately, you become it's almost like you become immersed in the vibration of everything. And as it raises your vibration, you begin to experience different things and things in my dreams, my meditations, connecting to other, parallel versions of me. Oh, a big giant bird just flew over. I saw the shadow. So I was inspired the other day to just go on Amazon and look for flower oracle cards, because anyway, I got two different ones here. So this is the book from one of the decks, this one, and this is the Lisa Esterbrook Soulflower Plant Spirit Oracle. And if you're new to my channel, I don't read tarot. I don't know the cards. I don't study them. I even dreamt once, in my dream, they said to me, "You are an oracle." And so it was interesting how that kind of morphed. And so I like oracle in the sense that it covers pretty much everything in creation, if you will. And so instead of having one card meaning one thing, I like the opportunity to explore all of the languages of everything, through all different types of decks. And so one of which is flowers. And so Soulflower, okay, you guys, you're my Soulflower. We are, like this. If we could picture ourselves in creation as, this beautiful plant is creation, and every one of these beautiful blooms is us, and yet within each one of these beautiful flower heads are, let's just call it an infinite number of us's that we get to explore from all of the different perspectives of this beautiful plant. And as it is now, that each one of these petals is part of the same plant, yet it's having its own very perfect and beautiful, unique experience with each and one of the petals. And so this is how I see nature. This is how I speak to things, because I see things in that way. And so I was inspired to just look and see what flower cards I could find. And I just picked like the first two that like jumped out at me. And so this was one of them, and it happened to have a hydrangea card in the book. And so I haven't even opened these yet. And these, because I think I'd like to choose specific cards, I think of these I'm going to leave in alphabetical order. It comes in a little box here. And I like how it's also got like a dandelion right on the front. Sorry about we live at the base of the mountain, and it's like we're on a mountain, but then there's a big mountain and people just rev it up to get up the mountain. So I'm going to go through the deck. I'll show you just some of these cards here. And I wanted to explore how many of them I'm actually growing, and then pulling the cards specifically for the plant that I'm growing so that we can see them like while they're in bloom. And so I thought that one might be a little bit of fun. So well, for me it is, and I hope it is for you as well. So I'm seeing a few that I grow, some that are just growing everywhere. So I'm very excited that there's quite a few. And so I'm probably going to be doing these pretty quick, because it is summer and these only bloom for so long. There's a big beautiful bumblebee over here in these big beautiful flowers. Just wanted to share that. So I wanted to choose, they're all still in alphabetical order. So yeah, I decided to just leave them that way. Oh, it looks like some of them did get, oh, wait a minute. Ooh, some of them are a little out of order. Well, let's see. Bear with me, guys. Let's see. Okay, yeah, they kind of got half out of order. Here it is, hydrangea. Okay. And it is a beautiful card. There we go. Can you guys see it, I hope? I know I'm not really sure how the lighting is out here under the tree, but I really wanted to sit out here among the flowers, and it's morning, so the sun is kind of filtering through the Japanese maple. And the colors are very beautiful. Just wanted to hold that up for you in case you wanted to pause. Hydrangea, transmutation. So if you're tuning in to this video, whenever you're tuning into it, this moment for you is about your transmutation. And again, I have not read these cards. I haven't even opened them yet. So we get to do this together for the first time. We are all affected by our environment. Hydrangea reminds you to reclaim your power through the transmuting of emotions and releasing of victimization. Now, I will say that's probably one of my biggest themes probably here is working through that idea of victimization. So right now, as we raise our vibrations, how can we be honest with ourselves right now in how can we transmute any ideas, thoughts, behaviors, patterns, judgments that have to do with us still thinking of ourselves as victims somehow, that things are happening to us and not for us and by us on a higher level, to understand that we are spirits we are all consciousness expressing ourselves through our own language of light. Our own beingness is our own language of light. And I've been doing this a lot lately. This has been my thing lately. So this card is, and of course, I'm growing hydrangeas. I'm the one creating this reality to share with whatever version you are to understand your own transmutation, and where are we still thinking of ourselves in victimhood, in however it presents itself, because victimhood presents itself in pretty much an infinite number of ways as we are human. Now it says we are all affected by our environment. Now let me just start there. Yes, we are, but we've agreed to be affected by that environment. We've agreed to that. It didn't happen to us. It's happening for us, by us, because we have decided to come and have a physical, not come and have. We are a spirit, a consciousness having a physical reality experience together. So we have agreed to be affected by our environment, including we've agreed to be affected by, we have plant medicine. All medicine came from plants. All medicine came from plants. It still does. So yes, of course we're affected by our environment because we've decided so. We've decided that we're going to be affected by the snow, the rain, the elements, the sun, the moon, the trees. We can't live without trees. They breathe out what we breathe in. Without them, we are not. That is their language, and that we're literally constantly breathing back and forth each other's language in the trees and the plants. We just don't even think about it. We don't even consider how it is transmuting us, and how we can intentionally do that by agreeing more to be even more affected by our environment in the way we choose to. I'm affected by the environment, the trees, and oh, I might have a delivery coming. Is that for me? Oh, maybe not this time. But again, affected by our environment, the noise, the cars. That's why we go camping. That's why we spend time in nature. That's why people who live in the city want to get out of the city for a little while. And even if you love the city, people love getting away from the city so they can start hearing that new language. They can hear and experience that new language. I will say that being in nature is what actually has prompted me to speak light language. So it's just something that we allow, and invite, not necessarily learn. What we learn is how to raise our vibration in order to allow it through, speaking our truth. Speaking our truth. That's what that was the message behind that video. Was the blue, about speaking our truth from our heart. And this is what plants teach us, among millions of other things. So yes, of course we're in fact affected by our environment, but we're affected only to the degree in which we have given permission to do so. There's people who don't believe in plant medicine, who'd rather have synthetic medicine. Oh, it is a delivery for me. Hang on. Here. He's just going to leave it up on the porch. He was talking on the phone the whole time, so I didn't want to engage and bother him. So yeah, talking about it being affected by the environment. So, you know, we agree that we're going to be affected by coffee, and we agree that we're going to be affected by all of these things, but we get to choose how we're affected by them. You know, sometimes that whole traffic noise is annoying, and then but then of course the vibration is a little bit different when you get excited about, oh my gosh, somebody's bringing me a package. So everything always exists. Everything. It's what do we want to focus on, and how do we want to focus on it, and how do we want to agree to utilize the information what we're given. And as we were talking about medicine and the whole idea that it all works if you believe it works. And so and it's I find it personally fascinating, because part of learning, or part of becoming a channel and speaking light languages, was born out of the no longer wanting the synthetic version of things, and going through a lot of medical things and surgeries and things. And so a lot of my journey began because of physical pain, not wanting to be in pain anymore, understanding more about myself, my body, know thyself more fully, so that I could more fully understand and appreciate. And I've always been very connected to nature and animals and plants, and I mean always believe that, because we all do. We're spirits, so we can all talk to all things. We just don't believe we can, or we're untaught it. But we all can, and always have been able to, and we're just now discovering once again that yes, you can. And that's what all these sharings are all about. I think all over the world, is to teach us all that you already have all those senses that you need, in order to hear and speak to this harmonic symphony. And it's interesting how one card in one plant can bring so much energy and information through, and the colors. And even this card is a bit more even purpley, because I like how they did this though, because if your hydrangeas are the opposite and they're alkaline soil instead of acidic soil, then they're actually pink. And so this is kind of a variation of the pink and the blue, the both. If you know it, having, I guess I'm hearing like having the choice to which way do we want to present ourselves, and either one is perfect. That's kind of the whole point. Releasing victimization, these transmuting emotions and releasing the victimization. You say, well, we have emotions. Well, of course, well, the emotion is created by the thought, the belief. So the emotion doesn't come first. The thought and the belief do. We think it's the other way around, but it isn't. It's actually simultaneous. But we came here to have a linear experience, but it's all simultaneous. So releasing the idea of victimization begins to unravel the threads and the knots of a bunch of crap. Because you begin to realize all of a sudden, how much of our responses and behaviors, and yes, I'm including myself because I'm having an ascension just like everybody else, and have, things going on and just everything, just like everybody else. So me coming to these understandings for myself as well, and more deeply understanding how being and because I'm creating this reality for myself because it works for me. That's what permission slips are. Everything is a permission slip, whether it's synthetic or plant medicine. It's all a permission slip to bring us closer to bring all of us closer to the version of ourselves that we truly know we are and can be. I'll finish the card. Excuse me. Blue coffee cup. You not only have the ability to overcome perceived obstacles. There's a lot of traffic this morning. You not only have the ability, as we just said, to overcome perceived obstacles. We get to perceive what is and is not an obstacle. We get to define what is and is not an obstacle. We can look at it as an obstacle. We can look at it as a challenge. We can look at it as a joy and a pleasure. We can look at it, and I'm hearing these for myself too, because perceived obstacles. I think of even things in my own day and day-to-day thoughts, and thoughts are things. And thoughts create the vibration of the things that we receive. And so thoughts are things. And I think about how many times in a day that I may think of something in a way of victimization, and that it is a perceived obstacle. That these obstacles are simply perceived. And even we often use other people's experiences as a reason and an obstacle to not fulfill our own desires, speak our own hearts, and dance your own dance, whatever speaking your own special language means to you. Stop saying no. You can extinguish them. Funny, Dave just ordered fire extinguishers. That's funny. And I see like how you put a flame out with your fingers. I see that. Extinguish them. That's it. Just look at it like that. It's not a bonfire. That's it. Extinguish it. Right then and there, extinguish it by focusing on the thing that you do prefer, whether it's for yourself or the other person, your world, your experience, your day-to-day experience. Perceive it, see it as you wish to perceive it. And then everything that needs to fall away in order for that to happen will fall away on its own, unless we're hanging on to it. And there's a lot of things I've discovered that I'm still hanging on to, and still looking at myself in a victimization mode, and reminding myself I am a sovereign being, and yes, we often say, oh, well, my higher self, I wouldn't have chosen this, well, yeah, we did. Yes, we did. And to begin to understand and take responsibility and take the empowerment that comes from the nature's world, to take that empowerment within us and understand on a higher level we agreed to take on whatever it is, knowing or unknowing, which we often say from our perspective, which is very, very limited, I would never do that on purpose. But yet, if you're having a consciousness, if you are a consciousness, which we are, creating a challenge, an obstacle, part of the video game, isn't it, is to blast through the obstacles. You not only have the ability to overcome, now, and even the words we're using here, overcome, overcome. It's like the word is like, even just using those words makes us feel like we've got something to, oh my God, this is going to be a huge climb. And it's a perceived obstacle. Perceived. You can extinguish them like mist by realizing, making real, realizing, making real that you can move through them like mist. Like water moves through the roots of these plants, like the air moves through our skin. Nityama sabesa motivation taya e jono to compare sanati inti somos by hanakila sobolin sabali teshe malimealma katia to go tea ana sopaliashana. Just having these kinds of conversations together, I feel already a transmutation of my own victim thoughts, which have been making themselves very present lately, for myself to see them, and how am I perceiving these things as obstacles, when whether it's something that happened in the past, whether it's something that I did or didn't do. How am I perceiving, why are we perceiving them as obstacles? As opposed to really of what they actually are. So I'm kind of itchy out here. My hair's itching my face. We perceived, and I'm thinking about back when, you know, we had this linear time frame in our minds, and we think back about, oh, okay, what were the perceived obstacles that I created for myself before, that I discovered were not actually obstacles at all. They were pointing me in a new direction. Let's see if you guys can see the flowers a little bit better. I just absolutely love the way the sun's coming through here, and I know the lighting's kind of weird, but let me see if I can. You know, and when we see things from a victimization standpoint, we can't speak our truth. Like, we can't, it can't come out, because we're seeing ourselves as I say guides, want to maybe take a different approach in the idea of it's not something we have to like work out, or we have this obstacle to climb. It's literally as easy as, and simply shifting then to the now, and the now, and the now. That always, it's about always shifting back into the now, shift back into the now, shift back into the now. Because that is where, it's almost like I'm seeing that's like the space between the dimensions. You know, that is that is the place where your peace lies. And I really believe that as the Navajo tradition states, that we are here to experience happiness, joy, confidence, and peace. If a thought or a behavior, an action, is not in alignment with that, it is not in alignment with the highest version of ourselves. And even myself, thinking about things that I have to do that are like beyond my control. All I have to do is perceive it the way that I prefer it, and without any insistence, because it may not happen the way I want it to happen, but I still don't need to perceive it as an obstacle, because then all that does is take me out of the now. It gives us upset stomachs. It creates dis-ease within ourselves, and it's paralyzing. And then you can't walk your truth. You can't speak your truth. You feel like you can't be yourself. And when you can't be yourself, it's paralyzing. And being a victim is paralyzing. So I'm always in awe of the information that comes through, even just with this one idea, one moment in time with us together in this now, having this experience together, and being reminded ourselves, we are not linear. We're putting a movie together, and we're pretending it's linear, and it's not. And we get to perceive these moments in any way we choose. And when I look back on something that gives me angst, regret, makes me feel horrible, then I ask myself, well, how is this serving my happiness, my joy, my confidence, and my peace because of it? And how I am the only one that can control. I'm the only one that can change and transmute that perception. I am the only one. No one else can. Your environment can't. The past, nothing and no one can change that but us. This is what it's about becoming a higher consciousness, seeing yourself as a consciousness, having a very, very unique experience. It was clear to me from the very beginning. Sorry, I got you guys propped up on like a ladder here, so it was really impromptu. Let's get this together so I can sit here. This really has been for me. Hi, hummingbird. A little hummingbird. See, I have to share the things that I see with you guys. And because I don't know where in the world that you are, what your experience is, what it looks like out your door, even if it's something you perceive as an obstacle, when you can find the beauty in it, it's when we discover more and more and more, and we are inviting ourselves to experience more and more, because we no longer see ourselves as victims. This is huge for me. You guys have no idea how huge this is for me as well. So as I have said all along, but from the moment my excitement began with bringing guidance and oracle information, and how it just sort of pours through, and then the light language, it always feels to me like it's this gathering of all of our souls together, whoever's engaging right now, and our guides, yours, mine, and all those who wish to engage in sharing our processes. And the more we invite other beings, and that means whoever you choose, because you get to choose, whatever beings you invite into your space, your meditation, your dreams, to experience your process with you. They learn from us. We learn from them. We are all students and all teachers, always simultaneously. And I learned so much from all of you during private sessions, oracle readings, hangouts, live events. I learn as much as I teach, because it is always a perfect balance. It's always, we all are. It's always a perfect balance of being a teacher and a student. We're learning either way. We're learning. And we're learning more and more of all that we are and what we prefer and what we don't, and how to be our true selves. That is why this is what it all is. All of it. It's all about that. That is what it's all about. Being more and more of your true self, your true nature. And I went, I did a lot. I say I did, but there's that past thing, that story we tell. But if we need to have a story, we learn by story and by telling each other our stories. And I went through the most challenging, difficult, I say difficult because at the time, the emotions as I was going through them, because I was perceiving it as an obstacle, yet I knew as I was doing it with full heart that I was still moving in a direction that was going to, and I don't want to say it that way because it sounds like I had this insistence in, oh, this change in my life is going to bring me this. But what I did know was I had to go with that instinct to move in that direction, in understanding that the not being myself was had become far too painful than the idea of it wasn't moving me in the direction of my true happiness, my true joy. And then I couldn't find peace, and I certainly didn't have confidence in myself as fully as I could, and to even make that kind of a make these life altering changes to move me more in that direction. And it has as challenging as those thoughts can be, of those, did I make the right decision? Did I do this right? I'm so sad I did that. Why didn't I do that? And I just heard somebody say that online the other day, no regrets, and live in the moment. Live in the moment. If you get the excitement to go do something, go do it. Just do it. And that, just do it. But that is the message. You only have now. These only bloom now. And I've been waiting for, it's been raining in here, and then we've been doing other things and busy, and even Dave said this morning, do your flower video. He's, in meetings, and, he's works remotely, so he's like, do your flower video. Yeah, of course, we are always going to have all kinds of things to do and clean and do and be for others and go and, and I've been there and done that, you guys. I raised 2 children. They're, grown men, and so I know, and to still be responsible to another without being responsible for their actions, for their beliefs, just letting them live their theme. Oh, sounds like Dave might be done. He doesn't even know I'm over here, so. It is always a joy and an honor and a privilege when you spend this time with me. And if there's ever any way that I can be of service to any of you, all of my information is always below, with private sessions, oracle readings, personal written light codes, Levismasa, Tony Masha. Now guidance. It's like I'm hearing that, what guidance do you need right now? La Bia Samosaporiasha, Amikaya Ante, that can help you build more joy, happiness, confidence, and peace in your life. Simply by whatever messages are coming through that day. Just like this card. It's just amazing. Oh, you can come. I told everybody that Davis was encouraging me to do my flower video, so he must be just done with his meeting. So, yeah, we've been at it a little while, just on the one hydrangea card. So, the gas on here. I'll pause for a second. Okay, here he comes. He's coming around the tree.
Hello. It's almost 11:11. Any moment.
Any moment. See, what another beautiful synchronicity, you guys. Do you have your phone with you?
Let's see.
Okay.
11:09.
Okay. Oh, we got 2 minutes yet. Should we kill 2 minutes? Not kill. Should we enjoy 2 minutes together? Sure. Oh, you know what? I'm going to, because I forgot something, you guys. Oh my God, let me see if I can do it really quick. I bought another deck. I forgot. Whoops. The language of flowers. I'm like, oh, I got so going on the hydrangea. Okay, we're just going to take the one on top, you guys. Communication. Number 6.
And they don't appear in any order.
And these are not in order. Actually, I think I even shuffled them. But I haven't looked at them. I haven't looked at any of the cards. Here's the back. And number 6,
Jade.
Communication. Jade vine. I have jade plants growing everywhere. So if you don't know about the jade, what a beautiful sacred plant. I'm going to do another video on that, on the jade. Because, yeah, I've got a lot of them. So number 6, communication. Communication, you guys, that's what we're talking about. Clear, honest communication. And, and even when Dave and I first found each other, that was like the big thing, you know. And you know, it isn't always turn out the way that we want it to necessarily, but we do share almost everything. It's like, you know, because the Oracle said to us, share everything. But really, I've never been.
Well, we said that first, and then the Oracle.
And then the Oracle repeated it to us, because we had, so that was the basis of our relationship. Was we have to be able to speak our truths and our hearts. Essential, or it just wasn't, you know, right.
But also, you know, receiving messages, share them. We don't
Exactly.
know if they're for us. We shouldn't
Yes.
judge it.
Thank you.
We need to just share.
And that's why I'm excited to do what I do. 11:11. So every day at 11, and we were married on 11:11. Every day at 11:11, we take that moment to celebrate that idea of joy, happiness, you know, confidence and peace, and showing each other appreciation, showing gratitude for all the things that we have, all that we've been through, all the times when we thought everything that those were obstacles, and also being reminded, you know, by Dave a lot that, you know, we don't have to look at it as an obstacle, but communication is key.
Walking the beauty way path.
Yes. Yeah. So once again, it's an honor and a privilege to be with you guys today and always. We are always in joy and service to all of you simply by sharing our day-to-day life. What do we do with all of this information? How do we apply it in making our, you know, just day-to-day stuff and decisions and not handling, but, you know, how do we navigate with each other and our family, our day-to-day stuff, our joys and excitements. And that's one thing I will say, is that we do that as deeply as we can. We really, really do. Following our highest joy and excitement. I mean, without any insistence on, you know, and it means, and we say that, and we'll do more of this because there's so many details of that, but even just sitting outside, looking at the flowers. We're going to pitch a tent. We got a tent, you guys. We're going to pitch a tent. Like I've only been like tent camping like twice in my life, but so this is all new for us together. So again, no insistence. And I'm hearing somebody's saying, well, that didn't work out for me before very well, or blah, blah, blah. Stop. Just stop. You are now, you are you are now you, who the you are now, not the who you were, and neither is he, neither am I. You've never done it this way, this now, ever. Ever. It doesn't matter what it is. So I heard somebody say that. So yeah, that whole thing, it's like, doesn't matter what it was, it's what do you make of it now. So yeah, that's kind of one of our newest adventures, so we're going to start playing with that. And yeah, we live in nature. Why the heck do we need to go camping? Well, to see more nature, to go experience things in a new way, and
Yet that doesn't mean we don't appreciate what we have right here and now. So
Well, all you light workers out there can appreciate the idea that sometimes you're called to go to a certain
yes,
place, and we want to be able to, at a moment's notice, jump in our car and go there and be able to stay however long we need to stay.
and I also believe that we bloom where we are planted, meaning you are where you are because your environment needs you to be where you are now. And if you're called to go someplace else, I did a reading not too long ago with that about that idea of, if you're being guided to go somewhere, whether it's physical, spiritually, 5D, go. That's just go. And so we are not even wasting any time, like as Dave always says, I'm not wasting time thinking about it. We're just going to act on it. Just act on it to the best of your ability. To the best of your ability. That means whatever you can afford, however you can do it. What step can you take in that direction to your highest joy? Even if it's just sitting outside, or we could go on and on, taking a walk. Maybe you're in a city and you don't have that kind of environment. Where can you go?
Gotta stretch.
Yep. Yeah, we gotta go. So he's been, as I said, he's been in a meeting too, sitting. So I just want to give you another beautiful view of this gorgeous hydrangea, you guys. And thank you for sharing with me once again. Liantobas Masioro Show. And yes, he is always like this. It's not a camera thing.
And I found
What'd you find?
a stray bone of puppies.
Oh, you found a puppy bone. Okay. Well, yeah, she's lost like 6 orange,
Well, she hides them.
we're still looking. Yeah, we've got like 6 orange her orange, balls that are like, who knows where they are. So anyway, you gotta love them. Gotta love you guys. Nia koisa masobore fashionati si masobore yashana to umaina aka anta isoto shomai ila kisomosobia ayana. Ask yourself that every day, every morning. What today can bring me more happiness, joy, confidence, and peace? And then act on it to the best of your ability in any and every way that you can, as often as you can throughout the day. And watch your own magical manifestations. It is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Love you.